Hello everyone, welcome to Bears and Bulls. I'm your host Riva Galveztan, and today we have a very special guest, Mr. Ricky De Vera. Hello, Mr. Ricky.
Hello, good
day.
afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeah, so Mr. Ricky is actually a really great person. He's very passionate about entrepreneurship. Our topic for today is actually, what does it take to have your own enterprise in this time of crisis, and of course there's recession and all these economic problems. So Mr. Ricky, maybe can tell us more about yourself for a while. Mr. Ricky is actually the President Emeritus of the Philippine Marketing Association. He has quite impressive credentials, consultant to DTI and former chairman of the Agora Awards for Entrepreneurship. So Mr. Ricky?
Okay, thank you. Maybe I'd like to just put some emphasis. With the Department of Trade and Industry, I'm a trainer and a business coach. With the Philippine Marketing Association, I'm the Chairman Emeritus for all the chapters that we're growing in the country. And for the Agora Awards, I have been the Chairman for the Entrepreneur category for more than 5 years already.
Wow. That's great.
That's correct, right.
I'm really glad to have you here in the show. It's a great pleasure and an honor for me.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, so let's start off. Well, basically, we want to know, what are the qualities or characteristics of an entrepreneur? I'm sure these days, people want to start a business, but they're also unsure about, if they're actually ripe for it already, or are they ready for it? I mean, are these qualities born? I mean, do you have to be born with it, or can it be developed?
Okay. Well, I'd like to probably put it first in perspective. Years back, entrepreneurship would be a buzzword when people retire. And so therefore, it was like your second life. But I guess through the years, in the Philippines particularly, we have now begun to realize, I particularly, one of the proponents of entrepreneurship here in the country, have been slowly, educating the market that entrepreneurship is not a second life, actually. Entrepreneurship is more of a choice.
Indeed.
And so therefore, today, we encourage even the youth, those who are deciding on a career or taking up college. We are now positioning entrepreneurship as a choice, a decision to actually help individuals to partake of two things, actually. First is, it's a contribution to the economy. In most countries where they have been resilient to crisis, studies have shown that it was because of a middle-income entrepreneurial sector that has sustained it. And that's one thing that we'd like to look at in the Philippines. We're talking of what, 90 million Filipinos? And a lot of them are potentials entrepreneurs. So that's one. And the other one is, of course, entrepreneurship as someone deciding, I want to go for it. Which means to say it could be seen as a business, or more importantly, could be seen as a livelihood project. Okay. So that's how I'd like to proposition this. Actually, this is a very timely interview, because people have always been knocking on our doors in PMA, in DTI. I wanna do a business. What's the best business to go into? And so we were saying, it's not a question of what is the best business.
Yeah, of course, you can't really, give a standard for it because they're different industries.
Yes, I agree with you. It's more of a question of, why do you want to go into entrepreneurship? I think that is a better question that we ask people. Because if someone decides to go into building an enterprise eventually, then regardless of what is the situation in the economy, that enterprise or endeavor, personally, I feel as a consultant, will survive. Will survive.
So there has to be that passion and commitment and drive to really pursue the business.
I guess that would be a better way of saying it, Riva, because entrepreneurship per se is not really being a businessman. I have to clarify that.
Okay. So what's the difference? Actually, a lot of people confuse entrepreneurship and a business person and...
Okay. For me, there are 5 differentiating factors that makes one an entrepreneur by heart or a businessman by heart.
Okay, so what are those?
You're excited as well,
Yes,
huh?
I want to know.
Yes.
I am an entrepreneur myself.
I
so,
do hope
yeah.
that the others watching as well will get a better perspective now.
Yes, of course.
The first difference is that an entrepreneur, creates the demand.
Yes.
In other words, an entrepreneur looks for what's not available and then says, okay, why don't I therefore offer this? Because this is what probably the market will look for. Well, a businessman more often, I'm not saying all in, but more often would say, what's the latest trend? That's what I want to get myself into. So that's the first difference. The second difference is that an entrepreneur's desire is really because he wants to do it.
Yes.
Okay, so that's where I would say, what is his interest?
Yes.
Okay. While a businessman's desire would really more in terms of, and there's nothing wrong about this.
Of course, I know.
Is to make more money.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the profit versus the desire to do what I really want.
And then the money will come after.
And then the
doing
money,
so, yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
The third difference is that entrepreneurs usually would like to engage in a enterprise wherein they can, as much as possible, get as many in the labor force employed.
Yes.
In other words, there is that sense of social responsibility.
Giving jobs to other people.
Giving jobs to other
yes.
people, and you will therefore notice that for entrepreneurs, usually they start with the people they know first.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, and then they
Their
grow
personal
with
network.
them.
Yes.
While for businessmen, it's really more in terms of, if you're not qualified, then you're not for me.
Yes.
Because I want to start moving fast right away.
There's some standards that have to be followed.
There has to be some standards that has to be followed.
They have to conform to that.
To that requirement
Yes,
as well.
yes.
Which brings me to my fourth point.
Yes.
Businessmen are usually more focused on timing.
Timing, yes.
Like, I should have done it yesterday. Okay, the market is moving so fast. While for entrepreneurs, you'll find that they're more in terms of, is this the right timing?
Yes.
I'd like to really be comfortable with what I am doing.
Yeah, of course, definitely.
So for them, for entrepreneurs, it's not a question of timing, it's a question of choice. Is this really what I'd like to do? And that is the reason why, if you take a look at the history of a lot of entrepreneurs, it's been hit and miss.
Yes.
For entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
But they're proud about it.
Yeah, of course. There are a lot of mistakes along the way, but it's really that, I think that's that learning experience that makes them stronger and more formidable amidst all these challenges.
That's true. That's very true. Which also leads me now to the fifth differentiating factor.
Yes.
At the end of the day, whether there is a market or no market really, an entrepreneur still loves what he's doing.
Yes.
Okay, and that's what makes the difference versus a businessman.
Yes, of course.
For a businessman, if there's no market, cut losses.
Yeah.
Let's get out as soon as possible. For an entrepreneur, if there's no market, wait, I better rethink again where I'm coming from.
Yeah, maybe there's some restructuring or
that I have to do.
Yeah, redefining the market.
Correct. Correct. So I think those are the 5 salient differences that makes for an entrepreneur vis-a-vis a businessman. Although I have to be honest also about it, that entrepreneurs eventually graduate into businessmen.
Of course. I mean, that's entrepreneurs are also trained to be more professional in the long run, and of course, some people just rely on gut feel, and there has to be some logic and research into what they're doing also.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Correct.
So, what kind of attitude must entrepreneurs have in order to start up a business? I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are scared because it's a risk and all these things. I mean, of course, they have to invest money. So, what kind of attitude do you suggest that these entrepreneurs should have?
Okay. First thing that comes to my mind is the attitude of